Hi, this is video 262. This week I'm with Ade and Andy at the start of the assembly of a NX611 Just Changed FN5 front turret. If you don't get the start right and all the bolts in the correct order, later on, at whatever stage you're on, you'll have to strip it right down to the starting position and start again to correct any problem with the bolts, as these can't be changed once you've started. When they've stripped Just Changed turret, they found the fixed and rotating rings in a poor condition and had to be changed to pass as airworthy. The centre acquired a FN5 turret from Cambridge Museum. Ade and Andy stripped it down and found the rings in good condition. The rings have been passed for airworthy condition and have been to Mike the painter and are now ready for assembly. So let's check in with Ade and Andy. Right lads, what have we got? Have we started on it this morning? Got anything cleaned up?
I've been waiting for you, Neville.
Oh, but, yeah. These look like all the bearings and the wheels.
They are indeed, yeah. The rollers. Yeah.
Rollers. And this is the groove in here where the spigot, where the bolt heads are going to lock onto so they don't spin around when you tighten them up. Yeah. All different trims?
Yeah, there are different sizes. Yeah. The very small ones, they sit right on the inner side, and the larger ones sit further away. So you see the hole there is really close to the rim. That's for the that's for the small
I see, yeah, there are two.
Yeah. Which is why we have to map them out so we know where to reinstall them. Tell them what you're going to tell them.
So we've got Ade and Andy are going to start assembling. This is the FN5.
FN5, yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
Isn't that noise really irritating?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I'm getting it. I think I'm okay.
So very roughly before we start, as Andy was saying, these go in first because these studs all need to be fitted in this rotating ring before you start, because you can't get them in afterwards. They've also all got to go in the correct place, so different turrets vary. So on this turret there's actually 3 different sizes, diameters of stud, and 3 different lengths. On some of them, even the ones that are the same diameter are 3 different lengths. On the FN82 there are 3 different lengths of stud that go through. This is why we've got them all set out like this, because if you don't set them up, so we know which hole they all go back in. So
yeah.
this
I see you've written top on the cardboard.
That's that one. So what you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you've got 2 little ones. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there's a little one and a little one, and then you're back to the other one. So we did that. We collect that up whenever we took it apart as a precaution. They've all been cleaned and put back. Yeah. Once they're in, this ring goes on. So that'll be going on next. And that's the ring that all the bearings drive on. So you've got vertical bearings, these ones, and you've got horizontal bearings. And so they'll all be going in. And then finally, after all they're in, this ring goes in. This is a ring with the driving teeth on it.
Yeah.
So the motor sticks out through this hole, this big hole here, and drives onto those teeth. Yeah. So then finally this one gets bolted onto there, and then that one and this one form the ring that holds it to the aircraft. So that's generally speaking where we're aiming for.
Yeah.
Fixed.
Yeah, that's it. Right, so good.
Are these in any particular order, or are they? No. They can all be adjusted.
No, some of these are fixed.
Can they be adjusted?
Yeah, there's.
I see.
Shim. So we've only had one shim from when we took it apart.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I assume they needed to shim one. Interesting. I mean, these are cut, but actually, I'm pretty sure the FN5 that none of them need to be. On some FN turrets, you have to have the cut ones in particular place, but on the Lancaster FN5 you don't, because all of them can be round. So we'll put those where it suits us. Basically.
Yeah, we'll just distribute them around.
Right, okay lads, let's get going at it.
Right, so get greasing, aren't we? Oh yes, got them on. So top. Right, keep trucking at me, I'll push in up close to the best one.
So you're going clockwise round.
Yep.
It's good of the lads to make as much background noise as they can in there.
Yeah, just make it sound like an engineering factory.
You can see the flap onto that figure.
And that's the first. So the smaller ones, they go closer to the edge. See here.
Yes, I see they do.
Go hard in, and then we go back to the normal ones again. A bit of a disparity. That's just sponging already, isn't it?
Right.
Edit that out. Well, we thought we got it right. Don't know.
Have you got any means of checking whether they're right? Because you don't want to get it all assembled and find one of them's in the wrong place, do you?
No, we don't. Very true, we don't. But that hole.
Just make sure that we don't use the wrong. That's it, we've got two big ones now, that's it.
They're normal ones, aren't they?
Yeah, no, they're all normal. Yeah. So, it worked perfectly.
Yeah, good.
Going that way. Right.
The next ring.
Happy? In this ring here, there's a locating hole. So as you fit the bearings, you move the hole around and use this hole to then attach the bearings and be able to go around. So this keeps rotating around with each of these. So you put the screwdriver through that hole onto there.
I see.
That's how that hole in there.
We'll start with those, eh?
Yes.
Which have all been greased.
These are which are these horizontal or vertical?
These are the vertical
These
rollers.
are vertical rollers.
Which Andy greased last week.
Yeah.
So they've all been washed and greased and generally played around with.
Do you tighten each one up straight away?
We'll just get them started. Shove it, yeah. If it'll go.
See?
So I don't even see.
Just get down the centre, see that?
So we actually can nip them up now, say going round twice.
See when? Okay.
Right, go. So you can imagine with once all of those on, that stops.
Yeah.
it goes, you know, the rotating ring coming off the fixture. Yeah. So we go around doing all of those first, basically.
And these, you know, these are totally opposite way, aren't they?
So we'll do all the vertical ones, then we'll come back to the
yeah, that's the one.
I have to find where the hole is in this ring, which is there.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a little cover plate goes over that when you're all finished to stop all the muck getting in.
Yeah. Which we have got.
And so over in the corner. Right.
Just a nylon locking nut, is it?
Well, these aren't nylon.
No, these aren't nylon.
They're all metal ones. And they don't have washers on them.
No.
For some reason, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't. And this is curved, isn't it? So technically,
Would be a good idea to have a look at them.
Yeah, so the nut is actually fighting just on the outside of the circle, isn't it?
Yeah. But then in the work, during the war, they didn't use a lot of washers anyway. We tend to put more washers on.
Yeah.
But you can't put washers on these because you can't get the nut in safety if you did. So very
tolerant.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can't distract Mike paintwork.
That's a dust over it.
So these are locking nuts.
Yeah.
How do they actually work with them being all metal?
Well, they've got a slot cut round down there and around there.
Yeah.
Down there, both sides. And it just the thread that's in this bit here is slightly offset. So they're basically springs. And it just binds on the thread.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of different ones. There's all sorts of different locking nuts. This is one type. There's also ones that are slightly oval when you look at the top.
Yeah.
The oddie nuts. There's the nylon ones that you mentioned too. There were fibre ones before the nylon
Yeah, I was
ones.
going to say there were fibre.
There's hundreds and hundreds of different types of locking nuts. Yeah. But
The fibre didn't last too long after 2 or 3 times.
the original ones of these were sort of like a red fibre material, but they always don't lock. You know, when you take them off, they're not locking. They're no longer locking.
Yeah. If these came off in a couple of years' time, we wouldn't reuse them because they would have lost their.
Are these new nuts?
These are brand new. Yeah.
Are the bolts new or not?
No, the bolts are okay. Yeah. We've obviously inspected them all.
Yeah.
They are a special hollow bolts. They're quite difficult to get hold of. But we inspected them all, made sure they're all threads are all good.
Why are they hollow?
Well, I would guess weight.
It's a very good question.
They don't need to be hollow.
In the grand scheme of things, I don't know. But I don't know how much weight saving you get from them being hollow. I don't know.
I can't think of any other reason.
I don't know if it's what they had at the time. There was a bolt that they was used. I don't know. Yeah. We wondered the same thing.
You just use the outer roller, the outer race as the surface to run around the ring on.
Yeah. They're basically just using a bearing as a wheel.
Well, that's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, it's fundamentally what they're doing. Yeah.
We'll re-grease the outers.
It runs round the outer track.
It runs
Not
on
the inside, does it?
It runs on the top
That's it.
of this ring.
You can see the white line.
And when we get round to it, the other ones will run against the outer foot to stop it sliding that way.
Yeah. And this is upside down at the moment, isn't it? Yeah.
This one. Let me get round to it. Is it lunchtime yet now?
Hey, it's getting on. It's 11:14.
11:14. Not lunch, is it?
Not goes through the hole, goes to the washer, goes through the bearing.
Doesn't go through the
All
lot.
three of them together.
Was this the one you had trouble with round here?
Yeah. Yeah.
We thought we'd get back to it, so we have. But it's stuck now. Right, so now this ring can't move up and down anymore because it's on the vertical rollers, but it can move side to side because it doesn't have any horizontal rollers in it. So the next thing you do is you put in the horizontal rollers.
These are the horizontal rollers.
These are the horizontal rollers.
And what are they? A bearing or are they just a punch line?
Just literally a copper roller with a pin through.
Yeah.
So
Right.
these ones, there's no requirement to put them anywhere.
Not from that experience of that one, they were anywhere.
Okay.
So the spacing of these.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
So the spacing of these holes isn't symmetrical. They notice they're too close together and one further apart, and that's so that when they go in, they can only go in with the bearing. Now someone started a Lancaster up. They can only go in with the bearing in the correct position. Because if you could fit them in any position, you could have the bearing pointing anywhere, which would be very good at all.
Yeah.
So these ones fit on the 3 studs. So in each position, you've got these 3 studs. So the studs screw into this machine ring here. So they're threaded into there, and then on the back of the stud there's a plain 2VA nut that's then peened. So they're locked in, and then these with them horizontal and with a big space at the top, these just slide over the studs. And each has a thin washer and a nut on it to hold it into place. So you've got all new nuts again. So thin washer and a nut, and you just nip these up, and then that stops you going horizontal.
And will you do the one opposite next, or you've got it in, have you? I see.
We'll try and use new fasteners because the old ones, generally speaking, don't self-lock anymore.
No.
Fraser Nash almost all Fraser Nash turrets seem to be built with Simmons nuts, which is an old fibre self-locking nut. And although they're super authentic and everything, they don't actually lock up anymore, so we can't really justify using them, much as we'd like to. And then you just do these. No, you don't. You do these up.
And you just tighten them to feel like you don't usually get them
As long as they're
tight.
yeah, in safety, we call it.
Yeah.
There's sufficient threads protruding.
Because I mean the spanners are supposed to be the correct length for getting the amount of leverage on it.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. Right number of white knuckles.
Yeah.
It's got exactly the same bearings on the FN82, and they don't give a torque loading for them.
Oh, don't they?
We've got the book for the FN82, but not for the FN5.
Yeah.
But they say do this. It's the same process.
Yeah.
But it doesn't give a torque to you. So basically, so that bearing's in. So you see it from the top. So there's one of those bearings, one of these bearings sitting in there, and then they're tightened up from the outside. So what you imagine that as they all go in, that will take away the horizontal movement as well.
Yeah.
So it'll be running on the vertical rollers and the horizontal rollers. And that, once all of these are in, you would normally bolt the other ring, the one with all the teeth on top of this.
Yeah.
But we've still got some treatment to do on that. It still needs treating and painting that other ring, so we won't be putting that on today.
No, that's okay.
You're going to
Probably they could have
reattach the shim?
Well, I'd be inclined to leave it out. If we don't need it, we won't put it in. If it goes too tight, we'll plug it in somewhere. So that's loosely the plan. That's kind of how it works.
Interesting.
Well, I think so.
Yes.
But I mean, it's all part of the Lancaster.
Yeah.
There's so many parts.
Yeah.
It's not all engines, skins and chassis and frames.
Well, it's fascinating, isn't it? That, sort of.
These washers, they're not locking washers, they're just ordinary.
No, they're plain washers.
Plain washers.
If you can get, I mean, fundamentally, if you can get a washer behind a nut and keep it in safety, it's good engineering practice to have a washer there.
Yeah.
It stops this, the back of the nut damaging the surface. The trouble is that washers only come in certain thicknesses. These are the thinnest we can get.
Yeah.
And we've also on here, these are quite thin nuts as well. There's a much deeper version of this nut that won't go into safety on this application. So we have to. We've got the thinner of the two types of nut and the thinnest we can get of washers, and then we are getting safety, which is what we want. Because what we have noticed with these studs is they're not all exactly the same length. They're original.
Yeah.
But if you see that those two are just marginally longer than that one.
Yeah. Are the studs driven into this, or do they have a nut up
No,
there?
they're threaded in. So they're drilled, tapped, and screwed in, and then the nut on the back is a plain 2BA nut, and that's peen. So they shouldn't come out. Sometimes when you take these off, because it's standing a long time, it takes the stud out with it.
Yeah.
And then
Careful when you tighten the rope.
Yes.
But the inner face of the face, is it shaped to this
Well, no, it doesn't.
circumference?
No, I don't think they are.
No.
No, I think
They're flat.
they're
They
flat.
are flat.
But I imagine they just sort of.
And go with it. Yeah. And I mean, I was in pumps, and we was only allowed one thread above the nut, basically because of corrosion, and you can't get the bolts out then.
Yeah, we did find that quite one of the biggest problems that we had was even though we'd get the nuts undone, but then when they drew back to the end of the bolt, the corrosion stopped them going any further.
Yeah.
So all the problems we had was always at the end of the thread. So
it's sticking too far through and corrode up, don't they?
Yeah, there's quite a few like that, wasn't there, where it's really badly.
Yeah, you get like a bobble of rust on the end,
Yeah.
and then it rips it. You just pulls everything apart. Yeah, I mean, when you're saying about there's so many bits to it, you think.
I mean, there is just to the FN5 tour, isn't there?
Yeah.
Mind about the Lancaster.
At the time, there must have been people literally all over the country making bits and pieces. There's an awful lot of this stuff was subcontracted out. I mean, like those bearings, I think, are Timken.
Yeah.
So there'll have been a production line somewhere creating loads and loads of bearings.
Yeah.
Probably not even the faintest idea where they were going to go.
No.
And then people producing washers, nuts, everything, And then all the parts will have descended on, Fraser Nash. It's fascinating, isn't it? How.
Yeah. So, how much play are you allowed? On the bearings when they're in?
Well,
Are these
again
horizontal bearings?
Because the reconditioning manual for this turret doesn't exist. Or we haven't got it.
No. I know, it doesn't matter on this because it's not going to be mechanically swiveling round, is it?
but you do have to be able to turn it to fit it. You can't fit the turret without turning it.
No.
And so it will need to go. So to answer your question, fundamentally it should be no move. So what you're looking for is the float of nothing, but without it binding. If you look at an...
Of course, I mean, we've also got, they had to design it, then they built it at 60 degrees temperature, and when they get up to 20,000 feet,
yeah, exactly.
so everything will shrink.
When you look at the inside face of an old one of these, quite often you can see where these bearings have been sort of rubbing in there. Because there's one positioning with the turret where it's locked, when the turret lock's applied, so the turret can't swivel.
No.
And that's probably where it spent most of its time when it's flying, with the turret locked and you're just flying around, without, not in action basically. Yeah. And at that position you quite often you can see a rub mark where it's just been chafing.
Yeah.
So they were snug against this. Yeah. But it's kind of like crankshaft end float, you want it almost nothing, but without it binding. Similar sort of thing really.
That's the vertical, and this is the horizontal bearing here.
Hang on. 16 of these and 15 of the vertical ones. So quite a few.
How many of which?
I think it's 16 of the lateral ones and 15 of the vertical ones.
These are lateral?
Yes.
And these are vertical?
Yeah. Or horizontal, whichever way.
Lateral, vertical?
Yeah. More lateral than vertical.
Vertical.
As well.
This is the last one then?
This is the last one. That's the wheel fitted.
Yeah.
You see it rolls very easily.
It does, rolls very easy.
As you say, so there is still clay.
Oh yes, there is, quite a bit, isn't there?
Yeah, and as you mentioned before, there would have been a measurement.
Yeah.
So we don't have that repair method. We're happy that as long as everything moves freely, it's greased up and lubricated, we're happy. This is what we need to treat. These sort of areas where it's still structurally sound in terms of all the attachment holes, but there is surface corrosion, which you always get on mag alloy.
Yeah.
So before we install it, we will make sure that's treated.
Yeah.
And then.
Well, that's a good job. They've learned something this morning.
Nice, it spins.
That fits on there, does it? That is fastened.
Yeah, through these holes here.
To the holes there, that's stationary. Oh no, it isn't. That's driven through the motors there.
Yeah, the motor goes in and drives the teeth of this one.
With the two hydraulic motors back to back.
Yes. Got a picture of it?
Yeah, have you got a picture? Oh yeah. Oh, we've got the motors. Yeah, that'd be good.
Here that's in this one.
Yeah.
So these two are bolted together.
Yes.
So some of these holes, the holes with the countersinks on, bolt them together.
Yeah.
And then the holes without the countersinks bolt it to the airframe.
Yeah.
So this ring's got the teeth in, it's held on by these little screws.
This is a stationary.
Yeah, non-rotating one.
Non-rotating.
So on the end of this there's a gear under here. Somewhere under all this tape, there's a. There's back gear.
Yeah.
So that gear engages. So with this being upside down, these are just inline filters. These are called Vokes filters. So as long as you've got the Vokes filters down, it's like that, and then you've got 4 bolts. These 4 bolts screw into there. So the motor goes into there, and that's how the whole thing.
And there's another motor behind it, you say?
No, this is 2. There's one
there's
motor.
2 there. Oh,
Yeah. So you got.
Yeah, I see. They didn't realise. Yeah. These are hydraulic motors, back to back.
Hydraulic motors. Yeah. So there, 2 of these basically.
Yeah. No, it's good. I'm pleased we did it. Thanks, lads.
That's all right.
You did a good job waiting for me.
So you can see the motor where the motor split on this one. So that's where the motor, end of the motor with the. So these are where the motor fits in situ. So you can see the rear wood motor there. Yeah. The spline would go this way into the gear wheel, and the hydraulic attached to the top. Then at the front you have the manual handle.
The manual one.
So you can tune that, and if you look below there, you'll see the wheel. You see it rotated under here.
Oh, wasn't it? This is the FN5 turret they cannibalised to make just change turret airworthy. They have fitted just change rings into this one, as Andy showed it moving when hand cranked. So that handle spins when it's rotating, does it?
It must do.
Does that handle
when it's
spin?
spinning hydraulically, that handle doesn't.
No, it does, you can disengage it. Or you got
Oh right, you'd lock that out
you
of the
knock
way.
it out of the way and it's you can dislink it. And then you have
to say it could do some of the
so now when you turn it, there's nothing happening under here. They just spin freely.
yeah, it'd get really irritating if that was whirring around, wouldn't it? Yeah, smashing you in the legs.
And then you reattach it.
Yeah. Oh, that locks the turret, does it?
Yeah.
Altogether, yeah.
Yeah, you can see underneath there's a wheel on a pinion on a sub there, and that just literally rotates in that groove there.
Yeah. There is a locking mechanism to stop the turret moving. This is used on taxiing and will be used in flight. This is the first single subject over 20 minutes I've done, so I guess this could be called the Ade and Andy show.